Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Time Machine. I'm Harper, and today I'm painting and talking about the Joker. More specifically, the greatest depiction of the DC villain ever, Dave McKean's Joker. That's right, I said greatest ever. I know, a bold statement because the Joker is the best DC villain by far, and he's been drawn and painted by some of the best comic artists of all time. But Dave McKean is at the top of that list, and here's why. Exhibit 1 of 1, because I only need one exhibit to prove the truth. Are you ready?
Ba-boom, suckerface! Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. I can hear your little arguments, your murmuring and your musings, but guess what? You're misguided. You're off track. And my reason for thinking that is personal. The year was 1992, or thereabouts. I don't know, I'm old, I can't really remember. But I was working at a Western wear clothing store in the mall. Yep, hats, boots, and Wrangler jeans. It was as if an indoor rodeo had broken out right between Chess King and Orange Julius. And the funny part is, at the time, I hated country music. I was a few years out of high school with rock and roll hair down to the middle of my back, a bad attitude, and a narrow mind about the world and everyone in it. All right, that was an exaggeration. I wasn't that much of a dick, but here's the thing. I wasn't what you would call open to new stuff. I only cared about heavy metal, working out, and my 73 Camaro. I was just beginning to rekindle my relationship with visual art, taking classes at a local community college and feeling like it was a giant waste of time and money. Anyway, it was another day and another dollar at a job that I needed but was tired of. I'd been working at the cowboy place a couple years when there was a new hire, a kid named Danny. Wrangler jeans, Justin Roper boots, and a baseball cap. A few months after he started working there, the boss moved him to the back to work with me in the shipping and receiving department. I was pretty sure we wouldn't have anything in common, let alone become best friends. We'd been working together a week or so with just enough said between us to show him the ropes of the job and keep things cordial. Our lunch break was at the same time, and one day in the break room, he drew a picture of Batman with a ballpoint pen. And it was about 10 times better than I could have drawn it. Well, shit. The cowboy's an artist, and a damn good one. That afternoon and the rest of the week was filled with the standard questions and tests of the newly acquainted. How long have you been drawing? Are you in school? What kind of music do you like? Favorite movie? Who's your favorite artist? A couple days later at lunch, he drew a badass-looking dude with horns and nunchucks. Who's that? I asked. You've never heard of Daredevil? He said, putting the finishing touches on the DD across his chest. Matt Murdock? He's a Marvel Comics character? The blind dude? He's a good guy, but he's more like Batman. He doesn't have any superpowers. Just ninja training. Of course I knew who Batman was, but the only other comic characters I'd seen before were on the Super Friends Saturday morning cartoon. Comic books are mostly for kids, right? I mean, I don't really care about cheesy superheroes and villains, I said. He told me Daredevil's origin story and about Kingpin, Bullseye, Elektra, and some of the other players, and it didn't sound so cheesy. It sounded pretty cool, actually. Hey, today's Wednesday, Danny said. New comic day. We should go to the comic shop and see what came out. Comic shop? There's a store that sells only comics? I had no idea. So, after work, we went to Fantasy Comics, the best shop in the city. I was blown away. Who knew there were so many different titles, and so many that weren't superheroes? After checking the new arrivals section, we moved on to the next display rack, and something very different caught my eye. A mean-looking dude with crazy hair and claws coming out of his hands. It was Meltdown, Havoc versus Wolverine, with art by Kent Williams. Holy shitballs! I had no idea a comic book could be done with this kind of art. It wasn't black and white drawings with flat fill color. The whole thing was fully painted in a rough, frenetic style. And then, already knocked out by Kent Williams, I saw it. Bat bones. One shelf down was a cover that looked like a bat skeleton fossilized in stone. It stood out from the rest of the books because it was completely understated. No garish colors, superpowers, or people punching each other. Even the title was subdued. Simple red lettering that read, Arkham Asylum. I slowly flipped through the pages. The art, the design, the style of this book was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It combined collage, drawing, painting, photography, and quiet storytelling. It looked contemporary, adult, and important. A serious house on serious earth, indeed. The artwork was both beautiful and creepy, and it conveyed a heavy dread. It was masterfully done. This was art with a capital A, and it forced me to rethink my idea of what a comic book could be. The panels are still burned into my memory nearly 30 years later, and the images that hit the hardest are of the Joker. Raw, brutal, and unrestrained, McKean was holding nothing back, and the images make you feel and understand just how seriously crazy the Joker really is. Standing there in the comic shop, Danny was explaining the concept of the graphic novel to me, but I didn't hear much. The endless ideas of creative possibilities were exploding in my head. Art and story combined in one package? This is exactly what I've been looking for.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
Huh. I just read on Wikipedia that the writer, Grant Morrison, admitted that he would have preferred Brian Boland to have been the novel's artist, commenting that McKean's art doesn't have the most terrifying expressions of the real. Morrison liked Boland's art in The Killing Joke and initially wanted him to draw the comic. He criticized McKean's art choice of making the novel more abstract, adding that it would have been better if it was more concrete. In Morrison's assessment, his writing and McKean's art styles clashed and competed with the novel's symbolism. What? Seriously?
Damn, son, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, I gotta disagree with you on that one, Grant. Boland is awesome, but the abstract nature of the art and book as a whole is the very reason I loved Arkham Asylum so much. Later in the article, Morrison says, people who don't read comics regularly seem to really enjoy the book. Yeah, maybe that's another reason why I loved it. I didn't grow up reading comics. Arkham Asylum was it for me. I was hooked. I wanted to make art like Dave McKean for the rest of my life. It was the first comic I ever bought, and I studied it like a madman, trying to unlock the secrets of how and why the art and story worked so well. The great mystery. A huge thank you goes out to Danny. Because of him, I found comics. We made an unlikely team, the cowboy and the metalhead. The first time I went to the San Diego Comic-Con was with him in '93. What a huge year for comics that was. And the following year, we made our first printed comic. Printed on a copy machine, but printed nonetheless. For more hot sketchbook action, cool stories about art and life, and dad jokes, check out these sweet videos right here. And if you thought this video was rad, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you'll never miss another sketchbook video right here on the Time Machine. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.
Ba-boom, sucker face!